Hi, I'm Borkon. Glad to have you here. Welcome back. And yeah, I'll come clean immediately. Of course, that building at the end of the previous episode was a little troll. But it's also an experiment. The experiment is to see, I want to see how many people will actually call me out for making the most low effort, terrible, horrible looking thing that took me no time and shows that I don't care or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what that building showed other than zero effort and just terrible, terrible taste. I'm gonna be definitely, I always read comments, but I will definitely be reading comments about that building just to see how many of you are actually calling me out for doing something terrible and how many of you are just being way, way, way too nice. The episode just came out, so I don't have a good tally yet, and I don't think anybody has called me out yet. But at the end of the episode, I will update how the experiment went. Of course, we need to do slightly better. I'm still not perfectly happy with how my new version of this came out. I'm not exactly sure about these domes here. They're supposed to be little domes that let light through, and, well, I think they're just too small to be circular enough. They would have to be a little bit bigger to be circular, but they are already way too big for this. So, don't think that works. Definitely something I need to work on a bit more, and but probably not on this building, but on some other building if I ever decide to build in this style. Maybe this is a little bit too symmetrical. I tried to break up the bricks with some polished granite. Granite? Granite. Ooh, I actually don't know how to pronounce that. Interesting. I've seen it in written form many times, but never thought about it's granite, 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 granite. Good question. Anyway, yeah, and instead of a clock that would be on the clock tower, well, it doesn't really fit to put a clock there. So we have a representation of what the farm is about, a jack-o'-lantern. And yeah, I just cleaned up a little bit in here. It's nothing spectacular. It's just some smooth stone and stairs to access the chests. The chests are, well, not overflowing yet because I haven't actually. I keep forgetting to run the farm while I'm here and doing things like during building of this, the chests would have probably filled up, but I forgot. No big deal. We don't need that many pumpkins. But yeah, now there is a building. This part already looked decent. But I must say one thing. I'm not exactly sure if a pumpkin building or a pumpkin farm or a building around a pumpkin farm, that's what I wanted to say. I'm not exactly sure if a building around the pumpkin farm should be made out of brick. This could be a mistake. And it's because now everything is orange. It's orange, 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 orange. And I built it in the desert, so we have even more orange. And I probably need to move the pumpkin carver inside, but it might not fit. Ooh, look, another building mistake. But yeah, of course, the previous building was a troll. Just to see how the comment section will react. And I hope, like, I really hope that you are actually beating me up in the comments right as I record this. Because that was absolutely unacceptable. I know definitely that it was completely unacceptable. And my goal with this series is to actually learn to build. And to learn something, you have to have other people tell you that you're committing mistakes. Like, if you do something terrible, if nobody tells you after a while, you just think, oh, well, nobody told me I was wrong, therefore I must be right. No, unfortunately, it's not always nice, and it's definitely not always nice to be the person doing that, but sometimes people need to hear the truth. And in that case, after that building, I definitely was asking for it. Like, that building is asking for being told that is ridiculously terrible. The new one is probably okay. maybe it's terrible too. And maybe you'll tell me when that building is terrible too and why, and then we can fix it. Because if you don't know when something is broken, then you don't know that you need to fix it, and so you won't. But anyway, that's not what we're doing today. What we're doing today is slightly different. I haven't tried this before yet, and we'll see how it goes. A lot of people have been asking me to show you the process in which I'm designing things, and I thought that we could actually try a redstone thing. I did a building last time on a stream, and that went pretty well, so let's try a redstone contraption. And today I want to make a chunk loader because I need to get some chunks loaded, and in my overworld, like even though if my storage system is in the spawn chunks, I need it to be loaded all the time because as far as I understand, the overworld itself unloads if there isn't anyone in there, and I don't want my storage system to break, so, and especially when I'm gonna have a new storage system now, so I want to figure out chunk loading. Now, I know. There are lots of designs for chunk loaders. I haven't actually looked at them too carefully, or pretty much at all. I decided to design my own chunk loader and see what happens. Maybe I can do it, and then I'll have my own design. Or maybe I can't do it, and then I won't have my own design, and I'll copy someone else's, and I'll just show you as much as is reasonable from this process and give up and say why. Let's figure it out. First, I'm gonna start by just doing some infrastructure work, and I was actually stupid that I placed that portal there, I just realized, because I need a clock here. And we're gonna be having a hopper clock. Oops. See, this is why I don't want to show you these processes, because I mess up all the time. Do we need that? We need that, because I want one of these here, one of these here, here, and let's say 16 items. Should be good enough, maybe. And now I already see that I have probably misplaced this. Right. See, okay. That this is the problem with designing things. You want to see the clean process of a finished product and not how I keep messing up all the time. I need this here, and now I need this here. Okay. I think this should be fine, because what I want to do is to place a... Sorry about the noise. One of these here, and a dropper here. Because, as far as I understand things, chunks are being loaded when an item comes through a portal. And if you send an item through every 15 seconds, that should be enough for the chunks to be loaded all the time, because they unload after 15 seconds. So if I light this portal, add a bunch of stacks of stuff here. I don't know how much we need. We're gonna see. Oh, okay. Things are not coming through because I haven't created the portal on this side yet. Now we have a portal on this side. I don't know. This was 16 items, so that's less than 15 seconds, maybe, or maybe not. I have no idea. Oh, I saw a redstone there, but okay, this is already a problem. So step one, make the whole thing faster. Okay, now the redstone is flying through to the other side. Of course, the finished clock will definitely not be this fast, but I don't see any problem with this right now. So, where is the redstone coming through? It's coming through in this direction. And it's coming through there. Okay. I will break this because I want to place the portal there. If I have a dropper pointing up here, a hopper here, and a wall here. Let's make it out of glass so I can see what's going on. Now, this dropper should be getting redstone into it. Okay, so is it as simple? How do I place the I want an Oh, wait. Okay, I think I know how to do this. Is it as simple as... Oh, wait. This one should be empty. Yes. This observer now is giving us 2 pulses. One pulse, which makes this dropper push the item up. And the other pulse is when this goes to 0, that should make this dropper shoot the item through the portal. Oh, that was a very lazy solution that I think it's just working. Okay. I think this side is done. I will enclose it a little bit more so we don't lose items here, because droppers don't shoot items straight, I'm pretty sure. Droppers shoot items a little bit to the side. We can even see that the redstone dust is flying into different direction. Wait, am I done? Oh no, of course I'm not done. But wait a minute. So if I do the same thing here, because this dropper being powered by this observer should also power the dropper below. Let's pick up the dust so I'm sure that nothing is leaking out. We need a way to stop this clock. So let's stop it. Wait a minute, let me empty this. Okay, there is only one stack in that thing. Let me check this dropper. There should be nothing here. There should be nothing in the hopper. Let's go to the other side and check if everything looks right on this side. Nothing, nothing, nothing. There shouldn't be anything here. Okay, good. So now... Now, of course, like I said earlier, this isn't supposed to be flying this fast. But for now, I'm gonna have it at very high frequency, just to make sure that nothing is getting lost or any dust is getting stuck. But it's actually looking really good. Then okay, yeah, so there are 3 dust in flight all the time, so this should be staying at 61 forever, pretty much. This is looking really good. Have I already... Oh! Wait a minute, there were supposed to be 61 items, and now they are... Oh. Why didn't that go through? Oh, I think I saw what was happening. I think the dust was flying in the wrong angle and ended up in front of the dropper somehow. Interesting. Alright, we are at 60 now, and we should be holding steady at 60. I will accept 59 as a potential mistakes. So now, the magical thing I need to do is tick, warp, and let's run the machine for an hour, see what happens. So if you don't know, that is a feature of the carpet mod that allows me to speed up time to go pretty much as fast as we can get. Just to test machines. So now I'm pretending it's running about not exactly 50 times faster than it should. So we should be done. Oh, there is another that didn't land correctly. Unfortunately, items will be despawning really fast. Oh, we had losses. Ah, there is one stuck there. It's gonna despawn in a few seconds. And we had even more losses. Okay, so this isn't working. Alright, let's abort the tick warp. We started with 60, we lost 11 items in less than an hour. So that is completely unacceptable. I cannot... Are we losing something on this side? Yes. Okay, so that one is also shooting not straight. Ooh, this might actually not work. Like I said, I haven't seen many designs for chunk loaders, and all of them had hopper minecarts under here, and now I understand why. So the hopper minecart would be sucking up these items if it was under here, but I really don't want to have a hopper minecart, because let's try that just to see. And yeah, that is sucking up the redstone dust. So I'm gonna check the hopper minecarts in a second, and we'll see the results. So let's see, it's been running for a while. Yeah, the minecarts with hoppers are picking up a lot of stuff. That means that, well, I guess this concept would work if I put hoppers under the minecart hoppers and somehow pushed it into this dropper here. I guess that could work, and I leave that as an emergency measure, but I really don't want to have hopper minecarts unless I have to. And I had another idea. The idea is inspired by the pumpkin farm, and it is that I do believe that minecarts are actually entities. So it should theoretically work to push minecarts through the portals, and something interesting will happen on the other side. Let me clean up here and set up some experiments, and we'll see what happens. I am assuming that the minecarts will be coming out from this side. Let's just put up some rails here and see where the minecart will come out. I guess we need something powered here. Some way to power it as well. That should work. And a dispenser for minecarts. Experiment number 1. And this is how development of these machines works. Oh! The minecart didn't move onto the rail. That is not what I wanted to see. I wonder... Yeah, what happens if we give it more speed? I'm pretty sure it will have more speed when it's moving further, so let's try that. Let's see how that... Oh yeah. Perfect, so it's coming out here. This means that I will be sending it out on this side. I have never tried this. I'm not, like as I have shown in the past, I am not very good at minecarts. What happens if we do something like this? Can we have that? Yes. That means that this minecart is gonna be coming out here. I need to put a cactus here then. The cactus will be breaking the minecart. And this should be... Wait, remove that, because we need hoppers here that go into that dispenser. And that should be enough. And then here we do the same trick as previous time. And if I now drop a minecart... Yeah, that was perfect. So if I drop a minecart here, that would be like the cactus breaking the minecart. Really? Is it this simple? Yeah, they're here. They're waiting. And coming back. Awesome! This should be exactly the same, I think. Right. And that's how it should work. Yes, I will clean up the clock, because this is silly. Right. Okay. And this just keeps working. Okay, I will now speed up the clock. We're having 5 minecarts in here, in the dispenser. Okay. Well, take warp 1 hour, and let's see what happens. Alright, we are done, and everything seems fine. Yeah, all the minecarts are still there, so at least an hour we don't get any problems. And this is a ridiculously simple System. Okay, I did not expect it to be this simple. I guess all that's left as the last test is to, of course, build this in our world and see if there are any real issues for real. So I made a hole down to bedrock just under my base, and it turns out, by the way, that the middle of my base is completely transparent. Well, after I removed the shroom light that was here, I guess I could replace this with a sea lantern if I need the light here. But, well, it's transparent to beacons at least. And I just changed this block from magenta glass to transparent because I want to be able to play around with that beacon and change its color depending on if the chunk loader is active or not. I'm not sure if this is a good idea to have a chunk loader down here, but the reason why I want to build it very low is so it doesn't mess with the portals in my base. It still might be a terrible idea to build it right here, but I'm going with it for now. I don't know where to build the portal, so I'm just gonna pick a place. And I guess before I go through this, because this will probably link completely wrong. Actually, why not? Let's go through this and see where it links. But it will be completely wrong. Yeah, it ended up here. Well, it's not completely wrong, but of course this is not what I wanted. I'll take its coordinates and find a very low level portal. And the portal should be just around the corner my never infrastructure, or however we call this. I think it should be just here. And if we light it up, do we end up in the right place? Let's hope we do. Yep, and going back. Yes, I always do the dance of going back and forth through Never Portal just to see if everything linked up right. Yeah, this looks right. Alright, let's build this part first, I guess, because why not? Yeah. I have bad news. This doesn't work on the server for some reason. Because it looks like the minecarts are not having enough momentum to go into the cactus. The exact same setup that I have in my creative world doesn't work here. This is exactly the same. And let's see if I manage to pick up any minecarts. No, I don't. But the same thing happens in the other direction too. Weird. I don't understand what's going on, to be honest, because, like I said, the exact same thing worked in creative. Oh, I think I found the problem. So I removed a few blocks here. I was thinking maybe the blocks are preventing the movement. No, the problem is that I built this in the wrong direction. Oops. Alright, well that's simple to fix. Silly mistake, but yeah, it happens. I guess, especially when I'm building things. So the thing is going in this direction. Well, easy enough. Let's fix that. Alright, now it's in the right direction. As you can see, I tried to extend the rail here to see maybe if the momentum helps. Oops, what was that? That was netherrack in this. Let's try again. And it comes back. Awesome. Okay, so this works. I'll move the dispenser here, of course, because it's meaningless for it to be this long. Because that was just for debugging. Awesome. Okay, I think it's working. And we also now have a mechanism to turn it off that turns the beam green. And now it's off. So yeah, now some mechanism that I can turn this on and off from my base. Shouldn't be too hard, although I am not sure what I can do around here without it looking stupid. Because as you can see, the stuffware duct is here, and the beam goes through the stuffware duct, so somehow I need to send a signal down here without it looking stupid. Maybe I should do it through one of the pillars here, or the tentacles. Not sure, I'll figure something out and I'll let you know in a minute. Now, to be able to clearly explain what's going on in the next bit I built, let's get back to the creative world so I can show you a little trick that maybe not all of you know. So, We have a wall here, right? If we put 3 or more walls next to each other, the middle part of the wall looks different depending on how the wall is connected. So if I remove this, you can see that the wall is going smooth, and I add it back, it ends up with this little ridge here, or whatever we want to call it. Smooth ridge. So this can be detected with an observer. If I take an observer here, for example, and just... The problem is the observer has to look at it from below. Maybe there is a different way of doing it, but I haven't found it. You can add a dirt here, an oak block here, and now anytime the wall changes, the observer sees that it happened. We can, of course, do something like this that detects changes in the wall. So if I remove this and the wall goes smooth, the lamp is on, and when the wall isn't smooth, the lamp is off. Smooth, on, non-smooth, off. Now, there are some interesting things we can do with that. If I have the piston remove a block in the middle, we can now send a signal by just removing one block. But the fun thing is that we can do this in multiple places. So I put this back, the lamp is off. I remove this one, the lamp is on. But not only that, this is extra clever because I can now remove this block. Nothing changed, right? Nothing, nothing, nothing. And that is because block is removed. So I remove this block. Now I put this one back, and the lamp is still on. This means that if I build a big wall like this, I can connect multiple mechanisms to it for the chunk loader, and as long as any of the incoming mechanisms requests that the chunk loader should be on, it will be on. Now I pretend I have 2 different mechanisms that are requesting the chunk loader to be on, so it's on. Now this one doesn't need it anymore, so it removes its signal, but the chunk loader is still on. And then finally this one decides, okay, I don't need a chunk loader, and we turn it off. I think this will fit perfectly for my needs. And that's what I built here, and it's just a big wall that goes through the middle of the base. It actually doesn't look too terrible, we'll see that in a minute. Right now I only have 2 mechanisms that can be requesting the chunks to be loaded. I have a manual one up there, which I can just toggle on and off manually, like this. And it should turn red any second now, there. And then I turn it off. And it will not turn off immediately, and I'll explain in a second why. I think I have a delay of 12 seconds right now, so it should happen in a second now. Please, please happen. There we go. I have a very legitimate and very important use for the chunk loader, and it is my storage system. So there are 2 ways the storage system can potentially break when the overworld unloads. And one is in this shulker box splitter. So this machine sorts out shulker boxes so they go into the shulker box unloader, and all the normal items just go straight directly into the storage system. And this one breaks sometimes when I unload the chunks and I get a lot of junk items in this dispenser here. This will automatically load the chunks just before the items reach the shulker box splitter. So hopefully that is enough. Maybe not, but I think is enough. And the other bit here that feeds into enabling the chunk loader is when there are items on the way into the sorting system. And that's the reason why I just said that the 12 seconds is not enough. I will set a delay for a few minutes so that I can be sure that as long as items are coming into the sorting system, the chunks stay loaded for at least a couple of minutes so that they can definitely pass to the end of the system. And here we have the wall. Unfortunately, I had to make a relatively big hole in the glass here, couldn't be avoided because I can't have other blocks touching the wall because that will change its shape. And the same thing here. Unfortunately, this is an even worse hole, and I don't know what I can. I think I will just spam leaves around it and pretend it isn't here. Something like that. But this goes all the way down to the mechanism here. I have some not very advanced redstone to detect when it's being turned on and off. Basically, we're just pushing this block. But this is the delay mechanism. It's just a big pulse extender that can go up to 4 something minutes or something like that. And like I said, I only had it at 12 seconds because there are, not very many items. Let's make it, now it's 2.5 minutes ish. So that should definitely be enough. And yeah, when anything now goes into my sorting system, the chunk loader will start running, and we will have a red beam, and when it's done, we should have a green beam. Let's try it right now. And this part I must admit I haven't tried, so let's hope I didn't do anything stupid. Alright, lots of junk goes in here, a cactus, some glass, and now it's red. I will log out. Well, things are happening there. The beam disappears. The beam appears after a while after I've been logged out. I'm not sure why, but I guess that is correct. And it looks to be working correctly. That was actually my first attempt. Sometimes I do test these things before I demonstrate them on camera, but of course we should always accept failures. Awesome, so this is working. We have a chunk loader. And I just realized that I might not have explained adequately why I'm doing this. Since a Minecraft world can be pretty much enormously huge, there is probably no server in the world that could have the entire world loaded. So Minecraft does a little bit of trickery with this, and it is that only parts of the world near a player are loaded. Like, there is no point in having the entire world loaded if no one is there to see it. And one of the things that only works in loaded chunks is redstone and entities and stuff like that. Stuff that isn't loaded, of course, isn't processed. So if you have some advanced machine, like this sorting system behind me, that is in unloaded chunks, it stops working. So that's why we want to have chunk loaders. Chunk loaders keep parts of the world loaded that would otherwise not be loaded because there is no player nearby. But wait a minute, you might say. This is the spawn chunks. I built my base in the spawn chunks, and spawn chunks are special because there are certain chunks that are always loaded. Well, apparently this isn't true anymore. At least when I started finding out about chunk loading and how spawn chunks work, I'm finding a lot of conflicting information, and I figured it out that old information is no longer true. In the past, the spawn chunks would always be loaded, but now the spawn chunks are only loaded when there is a player in the overworld. So if I leave to the nether, even my spawn chunks get unloaded, and this is why my storage system breaks sometimes, because despite being in the spawn chunks, it gets unloaded when I go to the nether. If I have a chunk loader, then the chunks around the chunk loader and the spawn chunks will remain loaded, and redstone contraptions and entities will work in them. At least that's my hope, and we'll see if it works, but first experiments are very promising. I will also use the chunk loader for other purposes, not this one, but probably build a different one. But that will have to wait for a different episode because we are out of time now. And we must not forget the experiment I announced in the beginning of the episode. Yeah, you guys are way too nice. Oh, you are just too nice. Only one person actually commented and said anything about that building, and it wasn't even it wasn't even a criticism comment. It was just like and that was basically it. You are too nice. You should have called me out for making a really terrible thing. I do actually think that more people noticed that it was really terrible because that's my first Borkaland episode that has a dislike. I think maybe I didn't look in the past, but it's the first one that got a dislike within the first few days before the next episodes came out. This on the time I looked at it, and I hope it's because of that building. And yeah, of course, I know, of course I know. I hope the new one is better, but if it's not better, or if you didn't like this kind of style of episode where I do some design live, let me know. I'll change things. As you might have noticed, I'm still experimenting with styles, what I do, how I do it, how long the episodes should be. Maybe I should make them much longer, maybe I should make them much shorter. Don't tell me I should make them much longer. I can't fit that much editing in a week. But let me know. And that will be it for today. I will be streaming tonight again at 8 o'clock in the evening Central European Time, 7 o'clock in the evening UTC. It will be on twitch.tv/Borkon_live. I hope to see you there, and if not, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye!